to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, Pastor Morley, y'all ready?
I'm already ready for you. Before I pray, I just want to, first of all, say thank you for the privilege of lifting up this community in prayer. I'm part of a committee that is planning a 9/11 ceremony of remembrance on September 11th, 8:30 at the courthouse. You guys are among the first to hear about it. We're inviting all community leaders, first responders. They're all part of the planning, and anyone else who would like to participate. It's going to be at 8:30 in the morning, about the same time that the planes struck those two towers. So I've just given you a heads up, 9/11. It's a Friday, 8:30 in the morning, Caroline County Courthouse. There's a service of remembrance. Let us pray. Our gracious and loving God, we thank you for the privilege of gathering here today, and ask, Lord, that you would be with all who are a part of this meeting. We are reminded, Lord, that you placed us in community for our benefit and for the strengths that we provide together that we can't do individually. I pray, Lord, today that as iron sharpens iron, you would remind us that one person sharpens another. So, Lord, help us to be willing to be sharpened and to do our best to grow and become all we can be for your glory and for the good of others. We ask your blessing upon the agenda today, that all that needs to be dealt with would help to better this community and improve our relationships with one another. We ask these things now in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. I'm going to ask the council to take a look at the proposed agenda and ask, are there any amendments to the agenda? And if not, then I'll look for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment, the agenda.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Approval of the minutes from June the 18th, 2026. If you have not had the opportunity, please review them quickly. And are there any comments, questions, additions to those minutes? Absent any, I will look for a motion to approve the minutes from June 18th, 2026, Town Council.
Since I wasn't here, I'm not going to be able to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second them.
All right, is there any further discussion? Not, then I'll look for approval. All signify by saying aye. Opposed? And also, the July 2nd, 2026 minutes, same thing goes for that. If you have a chance to review it, any additions or corrections, then I'll look for it.
I'll make a motion to approve the 7/22/26 meeting minutes.
In a second? All in favor?
Aye.
On June 18th, 2026 at 6:43 p.m., Councilmember Ernst made a motion to go in executive session pursuant to Maryland General Provisions Article 3-305B1 to discuss the appointment contract of the Chief of Police. Councilmember Burley seconded the motion, and it passed unanimously. At 7:06 p.m., Councilmember Ernst moved to end the closed session and return to open session. No decisions regarding the Chief of Police were made. The motion was seconded by Councilmember Noon and carried unanimously. The meeting was adjourned by unanimous vote at 7:06 p.m. All right. Do we have any presentations tonight? I'm not aware of that. All right, then we'll go to the department.
Okay, so Civic Plus notification system that went live as of July 13th. We currently have 82 people signed up for that. E-Code continues to work on the updates of the town code. I actually got an email from them. We are working on that tomorrow since the Kids in the Park was canceled. So they've sent us a list of things that they want us to review, but it's almost completed. The town is in negotiation with a new police chief. We hope to have him onboarded by September 1st. Surplus vehicles and equipment have been sent to Curtis Andrews Auction. That's at 25631 Auction Road in Fettlesburg. You can review what is on for sale on their website, and you can go in person as well. That's going to be Thursday, July the 23rd at 6 p.m. The Planning Commission got rescheduled. The next one is going to be held on July the 20th at 6:30. For finances, all of the documentation was sent for fiscal year 24 and fiscal year 25 to the accountant. We have also asked the accountant, Todd, to maybe attend one of our meetings, maybe through Teams, because the town has since had concerns of fraud. The town recently experienced fraudulent activity involving our operating bank account. The issue was identified quickly, and we worked with our financial institute to address it. We have proactively put measures in place. We implemented a service called Positive Pay. It's to enhance fraud prevention. The cost is $75 a month. Grant activity, we applied for the Maryland Sustainable Community Grant through the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development. I was told that that grant was processed. We were approved. It'll be based off of our projects that we submit and how much money we get. We also received a state aid for police protection grant that we applied for last month, and that was for $33,609. Community events, I want to remind everybody that we have the 2026 Hometown Hero Flag Campaign. It started July the 1st and it'll go through August 31st. This will be our last campaign, so we encourage everyone to get their applications in. The Greensboro Volunteer Fire Department has agreed to partner with us in administering the program and will assist with the collections of the application fee and payments. You can find that information in Town Hall, on our website, and also on our social media platform. And of course, the annual Kids in the Park event, which was due to take place tomorrow, we have rescheduled that due to the air quality control. It's my understanding we're in orange right now, but possibly tomorrow it could go to red, and that could be a detriment to the small children. We are looking at possibly July 31st right now to reschedule that. And of course, the annual car show will be held on August the 29th from 12 to 4. All of those proceeds will directly benefit the Greensboro Youth Basketball Program. And I put off on documenting the next meeting because I wasn't sure what we were going to vote on tonight. Okay? All right, any questions?
Does the council have any questions for Cindy?
I just have questions about the financial reports we were supposed to start receiving as of the beginning of this fiscal year. Where are we on those?
Well, this month for July is for June 30th. We're still waiting on the accountant to finalize everything. Payroll adjustments have not been put in for that fiscal year 26.
Okay, any other questions? Hope it worked, Brandon.
Thank you.
We've had a lot of storms come through, some crazy storms that resulted in a lot of brush cleanup. The guys and everything, they handled it very well, especially coming out during the middle of the one storm. We had 2 call-outs in Goldsboro for pump alarms. One resulted in a E1 retrofit. The other one was issued on the homeowner side. The one that resulted into a retrofit person just moved here from New York, and he's going to be getting the bill because wipes were a problem that caused the pump to burn up. At the wastewater treatment plant, been doing a lot of routine maintenance. We've had a lot of, due to the storms, we've had a lot of power outages that resulted in getting called out for the pump stations and everything. They've all been handled pretty well. We had on pump 2 at the old wastewater plant, we had a seal fail, so we had to pull pump, and it's actually been sent to, or it's going to be sent to Hills for getting the price to rebuild that pump. We had the UV bulbs, filters, cascade, and SBR tanks all cleaned out as preventive maintenance. Also, the grit machine, the fittings ended up going bad, causing some issues, so we went ahead and replaced them. All 3 wells are online, and the Hobbs water tower passed inspection after the washout and everything, so that's good to go. The Choptank River Park renovations are all completed except for planting of the shrubbery. There's the Maryland native plants, with it being almost in the hottest part of the year, and we have to maintain them. It's feasible not to plant them, so they'll be planted probably in the fall. Jesse Sutton Park, we've been getting prices together for the road, the playground equipment, and the fences. That's part of the first phase. And then we're just working with MD and DNR on this kayak launch.
So the pump in Goldsboro that they replaced, did they burn up and eat one, or was it one of the original ones?
One of the original ones.
They were low bid anyway, so.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any questions? Yep. Welcome back, Ms. Lindsay.
Thank you. Do I have a report?
You do.
Oh.
Whatever you'd like to say.
Good to see everyone. That's all I got.
All right, that's quick and easy.
Moving on.
Do I need to use the mic?
No, I'm sure you're probably loud enough.
Yeah, okay.
Captain Garcia, please.
Yes, sir. Well, first, thank you, Mayor, and the council for allowing me to speak on the assessment I've conducted regarding the police department. This assessment began in May of 22 with the understanding that I've been here maybe 1 to 2 days a week as I have other responsibilities throughout the state police. First thing I want to report is that under the reporting crimes that have occurred here since the beginning of this year, January 1st through May 22nd, that were investigated by the Greensboro Police Department. They initiated 17 reports. 12 of those reports were serious reports, meaning that they were either a misdemeanor or a felony. 5 were non-serious reporting of anything from debris in the roadway to any other nuisance complaint. I want to bring to the attention to the mayor and to the council that I located a theft report that was started but never investigated. I'm in the process of starting that investigation, and this investigation stems from April 1st of this year. There's also a child abuse case that was initiated but never investigated or followed up in February of 25. I'm in the process of identifying the victims and making contact with the complainant. More importantly, there's a mandate by the state. In the state, we have to work with the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention when it comes to sexual assault kits. Since this year, the Greensboro Police Department has not been in compliance. Since the last contact in March from the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention, the requested information was not presented or provided as required. Why is this important? Because these are sanctions that can be imposed on the town of Greensboro and may cause a domino effect with other resources and so forth. As of July of this year, that mandate has been met. The information has been sent to the Office of Crime Prevention, and the town of Greensboro is now in compliance with these mandates. I want to go over into police property. Unfortunately, there was an unauthorized purchase or possession of cameras that will and has the potential of costing the town of Greensboro and the residents approximately $2,000 because it was unauthorized and not approved for the Greensboro Police Department to purchase or make any agreement with these cameras. Missing equipment. There's missing equipment to include, for example, the radars. To replace this equipment, it's going to cost approximately $4,000 if we decide to replace it, if we cannot find the other portion of that equipment. We've made numerous attempts. We've searched the police department. We are making every effort to find the missing parts for it. Made contact with the prior administration, the prior police officers from the police department, and as of today, we've met with negative results in finding that equipment. Again, in order to replace those two pieces of equipment, it will be approximately $2,000 out of the budget, which could be used for some other area within the town of Greensboro. The lack of an inventory of equipment is important. As of right now, there is no inventory list of all the equipment that was either purchased through a grant or purchased through the town funding, and that is going to be a concern. We started making that inventory, but it's slow. I'm only one person, and we're trying to work to get an administrative aide and other officers to be hired here at Greensboro as we speak. Now I'm going to speak about vehicles. As they stated earlier, there are some vehicles that are nickel and diming the town of Greensboro. That's why they're out to auction. They're not bad vehicles, but it's just costing the town of Greensboro a significant amount of money for the upkeep. They're old, and they should not be in the fleet. Currently, we have 4 vehicles. Out of those 4, we have 3 outstanding vehicles. One of the vehicles is a 2013 Ford Explorer, which is 13 years old and has had an engine replaced and has cost other minor maintenance, that it is my recommendation that the vehicle be auctioned as well. I want to say thank you to Sheriff Donnie Baker and his men and women for the outstanding job that they've done. Since May 22nd, when the last administration was no longer part of the police department, the sheriff's department has handled 22 cases, serious cases in the town. Also want to thank the men and women of the Maryland State Police, as they have handled 18 cases within the town. Most importantly, here recently, the town of Greensboro had an individual who was conducting breaking and enterings during the day. Through the coordination and work of the Sheriff's Department and the Maryland State Police, we were able to arrest that individual. And in the course of arresting that individual, a Maryland State Trooper was injured. And luckily, he's back to work, and his injuries were minor. I do want to bring to the attention that an officer was terminated on July 2nd. He was terminated based on the fact that he was on probation, and the state of Maryland, and working with the Maryland Police Training Commission, we are authorized to terminate an officer on probation. We have to understand that in doing so, and all these other concerns, we have a potential of now saving the town of Greensboro anywhere between $30,000 to $40,000 from the budget. Mayor, that is all I have.
All right, thank you. Does the council have any questions for the captain?
Yes, sir. So,
You kind of answered my question as you were going with the inventory list. That was kind of what I was going to ask. Was there prior an inventory list? And obviously there was not, to check off, before people leave, so that it can be accounted for.
Well, not only that, ma'am, but prior to leaving, there should be an inventory. But there should be an entire inventory of every piece of equipment that's been purchased and used by the police department.
I agree. Thank you.
Captain? So
Yes, sir.
the cameras, you're referring to the ones out by the school?
No, sir. I'm referring to a piece of equipment that was agreed upon from a company, and the cameras came to the department.
Body cameras?
No, sir. Other cameras. And those cameras were never used, never taken out of the box, and now that company is billing the town of Greensboro because the cameras were never returned, and there was an agreement that if they stayed longer than a period of time, then the town of Greensboro would pay for it. There's currently agreements, we're trying to work it out. The town manager, Ms. Yotes, is working with that company to hopefully either reduce that or eliminate that cost to the town of Greensboro.
Thank you.
hey, Cap, I blocking a road with state police involved in that area. If something like that happens again, is there any way the town can put something out on the website that a road's blocked? You know, because my phone rang off the chain, like, why can't I go to my house and the road's blocked? If we could let the public know, like, there's activity in a certain area or something like that.
Hopefully that's something that the new notification system will work. Once we get the new police chief up and running, then they'll have access to be able to do that as well.
Okay, yep.
And if I understand correctly, the radar units that you speak of, it's not the radar units themselves, it's the tuning forks that are missing, which are necessary for the radar units to operate.
That's correct. And some of the functions checks of the radars are not showing to be positive.
And they're about this big.
But the tuning forks are missing, and that's a vital piece of equipment for that tuning fork, as it's specifically assigned to the radar.
I understand, I just want the public thinking that somebody run off with the radar units themselves.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir.
Tuning forks.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Any other questions from the captain?
No, I just want to say this out clearly, is that the town has been through several chiefs, and I don't want to put the blame on the last administration who just left here.
Yes, sir.
You know, no inventory list, you know, that's probably been going on for years.
I disagree, but we're not gonna have that conversation here.
That's fine, I disappeared, I guess.
You kind of answered my question, if we could just get more forks, but I guess if it's specific to the radar guns themselves, then no.
Okay. Moving on. Public comment. Thank you. Viva Taylor. Good evening.
Hello. What's on? No. Gotta get my timer on.
Brad.
Gotta make sure I got my timer on me. So I wasn't here last meeting. I'm sure you guys enjoyed that. Less to talk about. Since it was just disclosed and voted on previous minutes, I was not aware that executive closed sessions can happen after public meetings, and then they can open back up to a public session afterwards. As far as I know, the public is not given notice of a session that opens back up after an executive meeting for voting purposes. So I don't think that that's like a great procedure, just noting to the officer. I appreciate your disclosures. They were very thorough. I did just want to note, you said 2 cases that had gone uninvestigated between 2025 and 2026. Could that have been due to the frequent changeover of our police department? We had a lot of personnel in and out. And then for the compliance with the the sexual kit, is that also something that was just a paperwork issue and not followed through with admin, or was that an actual report that we just, a kit that we just did not obtain? I agree with what Mr. Noon said, which was it seemed like there was a lot of negativity that was focused on just maybe the past year or so and the personnel that was there, but we all know that that person was warmly welcomed by another county just this past week. So I think it's been years in the making, everything that you have come through, and I do appreciate how thorough it was. Also, I just really quickly wanted to state that I was greeted again by code enforcement. Thank you. This makes 6 in 6 months. I knew why they were there. 100%, I agreed with it. I knew why. This Honda Accord of mine is putting me through the ringer. However, it led me to do some research. And if we're pursuing those big offenders, which I've mentioned here at the podium before, if we're actually taking the big guys the eyesores and taking them to court and getting our violation fines and all that stuff back. I actually looked into it, and we have not filed since 2009 for multiple infractions, with the exception of 2 cases. One was in 2022. That was not followed up on. The person was supposedly ordered to clean it up. It's still a mess. I think we even used our town to help. The other one was not relevant. Or I just feel like this is something that could be frustrating for code enforcement as well, because they're not able to do their job to the fullest because they're only enforcing it to some and not the biggest offenders that are actually out there. And that's my time.
All right, thank you.
I tried.
So, ordinarily we don't respond, but Lindsay, I'd like for you to respond to her concern about the closed meeting and coming back into open meeting. We are following general procedures, so I just want you to explain to the public what they are.
Yeah, so when the elected officials go into a closed session, the public, of course, has to leave the room, but they are entitled to come back in after the closed session ends and observe any discussion or motion that the council takes. So it is permitted.
But what you heard me read in the middle of it, that's what we would have said in the open session. So if you want to come back to here, that you're welcome.
It just doesn't happen every time, you know?
Correct,
It's something that, so we didn't know that it would happen in order to come back and witness it or see what was being discussed. That's
Yep, and I understand that a lot of times there isn't a decision after a closed session,
Correct.
so they do end up just adjourning the closed session and then they adjourn the meeting.
Correct.
In the future, you could come to the door and make an announcement and make sure, but then, of course, the public has to stand outside, and who knows
Correct.
how long you may be standing outside for, so I understand.
All right, thank you. Katie Cunningham.
I am here tonight because I believe important that facts are heard and loudly as rumors. My husband, Public Works Supervisor, and I have raised 6 children in this county. We have spent years volunteering to coach youth sports because it's believed every child deserves an opportunity to play. My husband gives his time because he truly cares about the kids in this community. He's also worked hard to grow community events. What was formerly known as Riverfest is now Car Show and Music Fest. Riverfest once cost the town money. But through his efforts, along with hard work of our current and former town employees and volunteers, the event is now self-sustaining, while bringing families, visitors, and businesses to our town. The reason I'm speaking tonight is because one of our commissioners has chosen to use social media to stir division and suggest, along with some of her followers, that money is being taken from the town. That's simply not true. Disagreements are one thing, but making accusations without facts hurts the people who work hard every day for this community. Words matter, especially when they come from elected officials. I'm asking that we focus on facts instead of rumors, recognize that people are volunteer their time, dedicate themselves to making this town a better place. My husband always serves this community with integrity, and I'm proud to stand here with him through everything. So before we post things on social media, make sure that we know exactly what we're posting, when we're posting, because you're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting this town, and along with your followers. So keep his name, my name, and my family out of your mouths. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bill Schaffner.
Bill Schaffner, 212 South Main Street, Greensboro, Maryland. Longtime resident of the town. Last few times back, I got chastised for not doing that, so I'll make sure to let you know where I am each time. I have 2 issues. One is I saw on the agenda there's going to be a discussion about donation to the Greensboro Historical Society. My understanding, could be wrong, hopefully you'll correct me if I am, is that there was an initial denial of any assistance based on the fact that we may have some funds coming from another source. And that's true.
and we may not. We don't know. If we make our decisions whether to donate or not on whether an organization might get funding from other places, God forbid, then that eliminates them from getting funding from the town. Doesn't make sense to me. So I'm hoping that you'll reconsider that and support the Historical Society as they're working to get reestablished in their building. They're pretty well set up now. If you ever want to go in there, you can always call Mayor and Gary, Mert Realberger, or myself. And if I'm not working, I will be glad to make time to ride down there and open it so you can go in and look. There's no reason you can possibly give me that says, well, I can never get in there. Well, have you really tried? My second quick point, watch my time, is thank you for your report. I appreciated that. Maybe I misunderstood, but it seemed like the number of cases that were handled recently by Caroline County Sheriff's Department and Maryland State Police is considerably higher than previous reports that we've been getting. And I'd just like to ask why. Is there more crime now than there was back then? Probably not. Or are we just managing it better? I'd just like to know. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alrighty. Old business, do we have any? You didn't sign up,
I
were
didn't
you
sign. I'm
here
sorry.
to talk about the Historical Society?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's on the agenda, so, like,
Sorry, I didn't sign up.
Just give us a minute.
we're gonna talk about
Oh.
the Historical Society on the agenda.
Yep.
Please, thank you. Any old business?
No.
All right. New business, matter of fact, the Historical Society. I get them, take you're the spokesperson for the Historical
I
Society.
am a spokesperson for me. So let me just clarify just a little bit about the sources of funds. I'm in charge this year of the golf tournament that we have every year to raise money. It's the major fundraiser for the organization. I contacted the town manager and got the contact information for one of the solar companies, because whenever I went to meetings, they were always saying they wanted to contribute to the community and they wanted to help, become part of the community. So I contacted them to ask if they would consider being a sponsor of the golf tournament. They have verbally committed and sent an email saying that they would commit a sum of money to be a sponsor. We don't have the check. There may have been some confusion, and Cindy, if I indicated that we didn't need any money, but because of that, I apologize. I did not mean to do that. But the building is, Mr. Satterfield is very generous in renting the building to us. There's going to have to be some work done in that building, and I have a feeling that this amount of money that we're going to get is going to use up a lot of that, but we still have operating expenses in rent and electric and things like that. So I know that you guys get hit with requests for money, and I understand, but if there's any way that you could help, and we appreciate certainly the use of the building in the back for the period of time that you did. So thank you for everything, and if you can find it, please help. Thank you.
Sir, I do have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is your organization a 501c3?
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
All right.
And the golf tournament is October 23rd.
Plug in. So, you all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in our deliberations for the budget, that the money that we typically had put into the budget for the Historical Society, we were told that they no longer needed that funding. Whether that was right or wrong, that was the information we were working on. Obviously, it appears that there was a miscommunication, so we're here tonight to talk about perhaps making that right.
Correct. Yeah, I think there was just a miscommunication there. So with that, I went back through, we did not budget for this. However, we took a large amount of just surplus items like chairs and so forth to Curtis Auction last month. They sold for $2,560. So my recommendation is we use that money to make that donation.
Well, as a member of the Historical Society, I'm not allowed to vote on that, so I have to abstain from that.
I can vote.
I'll go ahead and make that motion to go ahead and give Historic Society a $2,500 donation.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor to amend the budget and to make a donation to the Historical Society in the amount of $2,500.
Yes.
And there's a second on that. Is there any further discussion? Not then, I will look for a vote. What do you call it?
Commissioner Ernest?
Yes.
Mr. Noon?
Yes.
Commissioner Dean? Okay.
All right, there you go. 2,500. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Paint Company Cleaners, hydrant access request.
Okay, so,
Speak to that.
well, I'm going to turn the mic over to Brandon because this was something that I guess happened before I got here and then it was stopped. So I'm going to let him talk on either the pros or the cons on this.
So roughly about two and a half years ago, a gentleman that owns Big Country Cleaners came to the town and asked to use a fire hydrant to access water. The previous administration sat down with him. We purchased a meter, and he paid per gallon on how much water he got from there. When the solar panels came into town, they were using so much water. You as council members voted, don't give anybody no water. Well, since then, Nick has reached out to the town in regards to how his business is hurting because that was an asset that he used. He paid faithfully to get the water, and he's on a regular well, so he doesn't have pressure.
So the solar people, they were paying. That's why we told them to stop.
No, they weren't paying, but they were
No.
using so much water, it was actually.
They were paying for it?
Yeah, we have a meter, but they were taxing our system.
They were using it when it was dry, they were
Dust.
ordering dust,
I
out of the
remember.
dust.
I remember.
They were pulling a lot of water, and they were actually, it was hurting our system.
Correct.
So Nick has, since that has happened, he was very upset. He stopped sponsoring town events, and he's just basically has shelved the town away. So he's asking that if you guys would reconsider, even if it's a structure, he's willing to pay whatever he has to pay like he used to, or if it's more or whatever, but he's asking that you reconsider.
Well, how much water was he using? Do you know?
He was maybe using, and I'll probably go to the high side on this, but maybe 1,000 gallons a month.
12,000 a year, which is normal for them. But he pays a commercial rate, correct?
That's what he was paying.
Correct.
But he's even willing to pay more.
I'm just curious, how much is the bill? Like, how much would he pay?
He's using 1,000
what's it,
gallons.
It's by gallons.
Correct.
So they currently, what's the current? $91. But he's willing, like I said, he's sent an email over. I don't know if you
And
guys.
what's he need it for?
He pressure washes houses, windows, a lot of residential, commercial. He actually did that building next door when we were over there
So did you say $91 a month or quarter?
a month.
We
So-
should put a limit on it, I would think.
So Joe Newton opens up a power washing business. I can go ahead and use that meter and pay you $91 a month?
So I think what if the council is inclined to do this?
Just asking.
No, I know, you have a good point. What I'm saying is, I think that if you're inclined to do that, we need to come up with a written policy, because that's the problem we've had with a lot of things. We need to have a policy that says, this is how much you can use, this is the step for your approvals, this is what you gotta pay, and maybe even think about in the long run, how many gallons of water we are willing to sell out like that during a given month. So we got something to refer to.
Another one more question, does this business live in town?
He is just outside of town limits.
So no.
So, I has business that uses water, but they don't have access to water.
Can't hear Pete.
It's all on the thing. No, it's not on. I thought you turned them all off.
I think they have time now.
He said he has a water-based business with no access to water.
So it's like having an ice cream business and you have to
No
have freezer
freezer.
space or something. I'm okay with us coming up with a policy to sell water, if we have the resources to do that. But whenever you create a policy, there has to be some type of enforcement, there has to be some type of oversight, which means somebody from Public Works or somebody else is going to have to follow up on this, which is then adding more tasks to you guys.
They'd have to read the meter.
Yeah, to make
Well,
sure that this is accurate.
And that needs to be factored in when we're doing the cost, because it just can't be what our water rate is. There's time,
Well, there's man hours, there's billing hours.
correct, collection.
A lot of oversight.
Well, and then we have to put a limit on it too, because you don't want everybody in town going, well, you know what, I'm gonna open a business and I need water too. So that's gonna tax the water system also. So we gotta find there's a fine line there that, you know,
You put a limit on it.
our residents need the water first. You know what I'm saying? They don't live in town. So, to me, I mean, I think you're opening a big can of worms if you do this. I know he does donations, but same token. Now you have,
He reached out and asked us to present it to you guys, so that's why.
I mean, as dry as it's been also,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? We don't want to run our wells dry. So,
You don't live in town, so.
All right, so I will look for a consensus from the council, since you will make the decision. Either somebody make a motion that we approve it with a written policy being developed, or two, that you just make a motion to decline to allow him to do it.
well, I'm going to make a motion to decline him that he uses the water.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second made that we would decline his request.
Aye.
Aye.
Sounds like they got there. Pete, did you vote aye?
I voted no.
Okay, 4. Thank you.
Okay, so the next thing on the list, and this was a pretty big packet that I put because the packet was a little thick to email out. This is in reference to Cherrywood Solar, and we got our first initial payment. So once the project was complete, they received the COD, which was required, and then the first year after that, we start getting paid, the town does. So they make their first payment, which was July 1st, it's $12,500. It gets again on January 1st, another $12,500, and that we get for year 2 through 4, and then it increases over time. So I wanted to bring that attention to you. We did just get this letter because Lindsay just sent it to me on July 2nd. We had no idea we were going to get this at this point. We weren't told that the COD was done. So I don't know if you want to talk about that or if anybody has any questions about it.
I mean, I think, so the next step for you all would be to decide as part of that agreement, it does state that the town will not receive the payment in lieu of taxes unless and until they receive their COD date, which is their commercial operation date. It was also contingent upon the town actually annexing the property into the town of Greensboro, so I think that would be the next discussion, and whether you want to go through with putting forth an annexation petition, an annexation resolution, and agreement to actually annex that property into town. And the first, I think, major payment in lieu of taxes would be due July 1st of next year, and then it goes up in $25,000 increments.
So just to talk about this isn't something new. This is something that we started when I was mayor.
Yes.
This solar project was coming years ago.
Yes. This
Years ago
This
before it
agreement
was
was signed
started.
in 2018.
Yeah, I signed this agreement back in 2018.
Yes.
Stating I want something. If the county is going to allow solar panels, I want some money. The town needs some money for it.
Yeah, the other benefit and major discussion as part of this agreement, one was the funds coming into the town, but two was the town considered this at one time part of your growth area. And so by annexing this property in, when the useful life cycle of the solar project is completed, it allows the town to then use it as growth area again.
That's my question. I was just going to suggest that either Lindsay or Cindy or the two of you, I have read through the document. There are pros and cons to it. Mostly pros that I see, and I didn't see any necessarily cons, but I want somebody else to take a look at it, and then we can put it on the agenda to have a general discussion about the annexation.
Okay.
So I do want to give somebody just a like a quick shout out. Brandon remembered this a while ago. He's the one that brought it back up to our attention that I signed the agreement with the solar panel. Because I totally forgot after all my surgeries, I forgot. So Brandon, thank you. That's what made us go back and to start looking through this paperwork again. So thank you.
Yeah, and in addition, this is a, I think it's a 413 or 416 acre solar project. It's relatively large, so it's taken a long time and working with, through Caroline County and the Public Service Commission to get their approval. So I think it took a lot longer than everyone anticipated, but they're finally, it appears, ready to start operating.
Okay. Solar panel ordinance revision 2025-0-4 is up for discussion.
So this is just for discussion. So you passed this last year, and that prohibits solar panels to be installed in town limits. They can have them on the rooftop, but you cannot have them on the ground. With this annexation happening, it's going to be a conflict there. So I think there needs to be a discussion on whether you want to change that ordinance.
Yeah, we can't annex it if solar panels are prohibited.
So there is a provision within the agreement with Cherrywood Solar that states that the town expressly agrees that the solar project is regulated as a permitted use, regardless of any additional amendments that the town may undertake after 2018 when it was entered into. So on that particular property, for this particular project, it is a permitted use. Already.
But if we annex it, we still have to make it a zoning of some sort. We have to make it.
Yeah, so all of that, and I can provide more details if you want to make it an annexation agenda item, but the particular zoning of it and it being permitted as essentially a grandfathered use for solar is all governed within the annexation agreement, which is part of that 2018 agreement that the town entered into.
So the town we have had some very general discussions about wanting to put solar panels at our wastewater treatment plant in order to reduce the electric cost out there because it's really, really expensive. And then we realized that, we got an ordinance that says we can't do it. So if we allowed that, we could put that there, and we looked at maybe we could put it in the same zoning as the wastewater treatment plant is across the street. You take a look at that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you should probably do a comprehensive rewrite of the solar regulations in general, just because the last legislative session, there was a lot of bills passed related to solar and particularly preemption of local governments. So now, depending on the size of a solar project, you can't regulate it anyway. So we could do something to make it more consistent with state law while also permitting projects like that.
But looking around town, we really don't have any big plots of land that we have annexed that would be available for a solar panel farm that I'm aware of.
Yeah, so generally, where preemption comes in is projects that are larger than 2 megawatts. So anything under 2 megawatts, you could continue to have zoning control over. Anything over, it's really the state's authority.
So does the council have any more comment or direction on
I think we just got to come up with what we're going to zone it as, right?
It's within the agreement, I believe. It was R2, but I can look at it and confirm.
Okay. All right. And then the last item under new business is the request to change meeting dates. I know that we had discussed this in some other meetings, to change our meeting days, not dates, but days, from the first and third to the second and fourth Thursdays, and I'll let you.
Right. Yes, so to make sure that we have got legal representation, we took a look at this and come up with the idea that maybe we should change our meeting dates from the first and third Thursday to the second and fourth Thursday of the month so that we've got legal representation at all times.
So you're saying if we don't change it, we don't have a lawyer?
We wouldn't have, I think, the first.
I'm not available for the first Thursday of the month. I am available for the third Thursday of the month. If it doesn't work out, Cindy and I can discuss some alternative. I don't want you to feel like you're put up against a wall. It was just a general discussion to see everyone's availability. If you prefer not to move the meeting, Cindy and I can discuss and figure out coverage.
I particularly brought up the fact that having my business, I have a client that I serve on a finance council board for.
Okay.
And I have, that's the second Tuesday of every month. So it's going to be a little difficult for me to prepare for these meetings. Two big meetings in one week.
Yeah.
I can discuss with them and see if they would be willing to change their rotation and see if I can make it work. But
The other alternative is that you stick with the third Thursday of the month, and then if we need additional meetings, we can look at that and see when legal's available.
So Kim, you're okay on the second Thursday of the month, it's going to be a lot of work for you that week. If we
yeah,
get
the second Thursday, if we moved it to the second Thursday, it would be a lot of preparation for me to prepare for two big meetings, finance-based meetings that week.
What if you had one meeting and it was the third Thursday?
Right, that's what I was indicating,
Yeah,
that you just
like
have
the middle
one,
of the month.
the one big meeting, that way we know she's going to be here. We might be here a little bit longer, but you...
Then you go back to a workshop on a different...
I
No, you just don't have...
Just
so-
one meeting a month.
Yes.
And then if needs arise, you have, which a lot of jurisdictions do, and I think we've discussed it in the past, and everyone's always hesitant, but in my experience, I have found that actually narrowing it down to one meeting makes you more efficient, unless other needs arise. Now, of course, you do what you feel is most beneficial for you and your residents.
So if we did that, I'm just trying to think about the options, we could schedule a workshop, schedule a special meeting, all we gave adequate notice to the public.
Correct.
Emergency meeting if we needed to.
Correct.
We just have to have one full meeting, but we could
Correct.
schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that the downside to the public is that you're taking away one meeting for public comment. The benefit to the public is that you should always have your public hearings. You should.
Because we've been having workshops for the first,
Yeah.
so that there's no comment there.
So there.
Basically, they only get to comment and participate actually in one meeting anyway.
And now your public knows ahead of time that if you're going to have a public hearing, or you're going to introduce something, or you're going to make any type of amendment or legislative change, it's always going to occur on this meeting, so that it doesn't seem like you're trying to throw something in at a meeting that the public generally wouldn't attend.
Better planning for them.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I don't know whatever the council says.
I mean, I think it works out great, but like you said, if we need to have a workshop, we just give enough notice that we can,
24 hour
we go
notice.
and see if everybody's agreeable to it, and then.
Well, especially during budget time, you know you're going to have to have at least...
You'll present us a
Correct.
workshop schedule.
Correct, that's what I did this year, yes.
All right, so then any more discussion?
Well, I think to Kim's point, would it help if the agenda packet was, if you're down to one meeting a month, maybe the agenda packet is submitted earlier so that you're not...
that would be a
crunched.
big help.
Yeah.
Yeah, currently it goes out 6 days in advance.
Yeah, we get it on Friday evening, and then most people break for the weekend, and then
Right.
you only have Monday through
But if you give
Thursday
it
to...
a week, another, the following 2 weeks ahead of time, I think that's fair enough. And
Well,
if we
it's
can
hard
make
to compare
amendments to the
package.
agenda if we
Yeah.
need to.
It's hard to compare.
I would say if you're going to do it, do 10 days in advance,
Yeah.
because 2 weeks is going to be...
It is going to be hard to
It's
do.
trying to get everything together, especially all the reporting and so forth, and waiting on
Well,
everybody.
we can also make amendments to the agenda if we see
Correct.
that it's
Absolutely.
needed.
Thing
So,
is, we can try it, if we don't like it, we can go back.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing's in solid.
Correct.
All right, then I will look for a motion to, beginning in August, that we change our meeting night to one singular night, which would be the third Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. Is that correct?
Correct. I'll make a motion.
All right, there's a motion on the floor,
I'll second it.
and there's a second. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Councilman Ernest?
Yes.
Councilman
Yes.
Yu? Councilman Harrison?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
All right, thank you.
Sonny, you're gonna be here.
Yes.
All right.
So we're coming looking for you.
Unless I have another, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm just kidding. I appreciate your flexibility.
Did Jennifer
We've
get that
only
up?
been trying for years.
No, no.
All right, so we will move to council remarks, and I will start with you, Mr.
I just want to thank Public Works for all the work they did with the storm damage. I mean, we had your entire crew got called in, and they all showed up in a proper, efficient time. But you guys were busy, also, and then you came back when we found limbs that were broke off, that were suspended in the trees, and you took time to fix those. So I really appreciate all the effort you guys did. And hopefully you don't have to do it again anytime soon. And just stay hydrated and stay out of the heat.
Just watch it, it's going to be very hot tomorrow. The air quality is going to say, prayer, stay inside for, especially the older people. Phil?
Like yourself.
I'm not. He was looking right at me.
Just August 29th car show for the kids for the basketball tournament. Thank everybody for their hard work. I know it's hot outside. I know Public Works is coming in early now, leaving, getting off a little bit earlier during the day to beat the heat. So that's a good thing. That's it. That's all I have.
Yeah, I just wanted to, since it was mentioned a couple of times throughout the evening, a post that was made. I want to make sure it's accurately reflected, that there was never any allegation of theft. And I'm going to read verbatim because there either is a reading comprehension problem or some kind of misunderstanding. The Greensboro Car Show has been a community tradition for years, and I truly hope this year's event is a success. Community events like this bring people together and showcase the best of our town. Historically, proceeds from the event supported the Greensboro Police Department's youth basketball program. According to information recently provided by the town, however, the town now maintains Town of Greensboro Events is an independent organization and is not part of the town and administers its own funds. That raises a number of important questions regarding how and when that transition occurred. Records indicate that there is a town check made payable to the Town of Greensboro Events, yet questions remain regarding when did the town cease being a town-administered program, who authorized the transition to an independent organization, was the transfer of responsibilities, assets, or funds formally approved by the mayor or council, are there written agreements between the town and the organization, who currently owns, governs, and oversees Town of Greensboro Events. If proceeds no longer flow through the town, how can residents verify that funds intended to benefit the youth basketball program are being administered as represented? These are not accusations. They are legitimate questions that deserve clear, documented answers. Transparency is not about creating controversy. It's about maintaining public trust. I made repeated efforts to obtain clarification through the appropriate channels. To date, those efforts have not been produced complete answers to the questions outlined above. If everything was handled properly, the record should reflect that. If improvements are needed, identifying them only strengthens public confidence. I encourage everyone to continue supporting the Greensboro Car Show and the young people it has historically benefited. At the same time, residents have every right to understand how community donations are being managed, who is responsible for them, and what oversight exists today. Supporting community events and expecting transparency are not mutually exclusive. We should expect and receive both. So this question arose because there was a transaction on the bank statement for a check that was written to this organization for almost $21,000. I inquired without accusation what the check was for, because the car show has always historically been represented as a Town of Greensboro event. So this was new news to me that it was actually a separate organization. My fiduciary responsibility is to question these kinds of things. That is not a small amount to just turn a blind eye to. I was not making any accusations. I was not accusing anyone of theft. I just wanted accountability. So I hope that clears up any misunderstanding, allegations of theft, whatever the spin was that was on it. Thank you.
Read the comments.
Okay, so I would remind the council that the agreement that we signed with the solar panel people is in your packet, so please read that, there's a lot to it. Please be quiet in the audience. All right, so now I look for a motion to move into executive session. Pursuant to Maryland Open Meetings Act, General Provision 3-305B and 305B1, discussion of a personal matter, employment-related matters, and consultation with legal counsel regarding the town of Goldsboro's non-payment in the town's legal options.
I make the motion to go into closed session.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I guess we've done that.